One of the best and most popular herbs of today and probably of all time is basil. So today I'm going to show you what to do. I think it's called pruning, where you like cut the basil leaves. So this is a video on how to encourage growing of basil leaves, how to, just a bunch of little tips about basil leaves and about the basil plant itself, and how to, just do a bunch of stuff and a bunch of tips and how to encourage leaf growth and how to make it healthy. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoy this and let's get on with it. I just like to point out that basil is one of my favorite plants to grow out of like a lot of things, like a lot of plants in the place, along with potatoes, tomatoes, cilantro, and again, basil. So, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe for other videos, including more planting, tutorials, soccer, and anything like that. So, the variety of basil that I have is a Italian large leaf basil, the original basil, and I will be showing you how to do a bunch of stuff and a bunch of tips. So let's get on with it. Okay, you might see a wire right here is because I have a mic on my chest right now, this little mic here. Probably shouldn't tap it, but yeah, so either the audio could be completely messed up or it could be alright. So right here we have my basil plant right here. It is probably like maybe 10 to 15, I think it's like 10 inches tall. I don't really know about that stuff, but it's growing actually really well. I did cut off 5 basil leaves in a video that I made, but it wasn't good, so I scrapped the video, and now that's why I'm here. Hopefully this mic works. It's actually the first time I've used the mic in like an actual long video. So there's an ant on my leaf. So I searched up how many varieties of basil there are, and it's clarified that there are 50 to 150 varieties of basil. And this is only one variety, and this is like the most common. It's the my tortoise might hit my tripod because he's right behind my tripod right now. So those birds are really loud. Okay, there are 150 to 50 varieties of basil, or 50 to 150 varieties of basil, and this is the most common one, the Italian large leaf basil. I've also found out that there's basil in Greek. There's like Greek basil. This is only the Italian basil. I'm not that much of a smart guy, but I actually thought that there was only like Italian basil. I thought basil only came from Italy. But I mean, they do. I'm pretty sure they use it the most there. So I'm going to cut off a leaf here, maybe a couple, like this one here. This one's a nice one here. So I'm going to cut that one off. This one seems to have a little bit of a kind of a black dots on it, or a brown dots. I'm going to have to search that up to make sure if it's okay to eat or if it's something that I should worry about or cut off. I'm going to cut one more here because I already cut, like I said, I already cut 5 basil leaves. And there is another one. I really hope the audio isn't too loud on this. I'm trying to keep quiet a little bit because I did test it and I was being kind of quiet even though the audio was like really loud. So hopefully it's not too loud. Hopefully I don't make your eardrums bleed. But there is a big leaf of basil and a kind of medium-sized basil. I would rather look for the longer ones because if ones are like thicker, it's not as good as the ones that are like longer, because then you can cut them. You can cut them in like a little cube shape. Hopefully you can see my face. I'm sure you can. You could cut them like this. You can like do. And then like they're like a lot of tiny flakes of basil that you can like dice and then sprinkle it on some spaghetti, which is, I haven't tried yet, but I am hoping I will try that very soon because it sounds really, really good. So let's talk about the next thing about my basil plant. And the varieties of basil are like sweet, normal, like I think these might be a sweet one. I'm like I don't know if they're that sweet. I mean, they're kind of sweet, but they're not that sweet. So, yeah, they're sweet basil, which I am probably gonna grow next. But I already have a bunch of basil plants coming in, and that's for a video. There you go. You have your, no, the next video. It's probably gonna be posted in like maybe a month. So, yeah, there's sweet basil, which I'm probably going to grow in a little bit. I'll probably ask my dad if he could buy some off this website that we normally use. It's here, I'm gonna see what the variety is called. I'm gonna see what the company is called real quick. Okay, I found out the company is called Mountain Valley Seed Co. So if you guys really want to sponsor me, I'd love to sponsor you guys. They're not sponsoring me for saying that they're an amazing company, but if any of you guys work at this company or whatever, this isn't actually the basil. I didn't actually know that. It's the cumin. But this company right here, this is a good company. Like, you should really order from this company. They're not sponsoring me for this. Hopefully they will, because I'd love to get sponsored for the first time. So if you see this, I'd love to get sponsored. But, or I'd love to sponsor you, and I would be grateful to sponsor you guys. So this is a really good seed stuff. You should really buy them. So yeah, this isn't what grew this. I don't think so. I don't really remember. I think it was a tiny basil plant when we got it, or like a pretty big basil plant when we got it. But I'm just gotta say that this company is good. It's a good seed company. It's what got me most of my seeds, like the basil seeds I'm talking about, some other seeds I'm talking about. And they grow pretty good. They do grow pretty good. But just again, it's not sponsored. I don't know if I will get copyright or something. I don't know. I've already got 600 subscribers. Don't even know how copyright works or how sponsorship works, because I've never been sponsored before. But yeah, that's that. Thank you to the seed company for posting some amazing seeds. So I'm acting like I'm actually getting sponsored. Again, I'm not getting sponsored. Hopefully they will. So, yeah, cut 2 leaves, and let's get on to the next tip or the next thing I will be talking about. Okay, and another thing, do not be scared to cut too many leaves, because it'll always regrow back. Obviously, if you cut off, like, the actual stem itself, it probably won't grow back as good. But don't be too scared to cut off too many leaves, because it'll most likely grow back. Don't sue me if it does. If it doesn't, please don't sue me. But don't be scared to cut maybe 10 leaves or 5 leaves or 13 leaves or 15 leaves. I would not do 15 leaves, because I would rather let it grow instead of cutting off each one of its arms, I would say. So, yeah, don't be scared to cut off too many leaves. I'm actually going to take this piece off, because this is a kind of a dead one. I should probably really Google what these brown spots are. But don't be scared to cut too many leaves off, and because it'll most likely always grow back. This is one of those plants that regrows itself like quite quickly, like tomatoes, I'm sure. So yeah, it's growing pretty well. And sorry. And don't be scared to cut off too many leaves. That's all I gotta say. Okay, let's get on to the next talking tip thing, whatever. Okay, I took off my mic for this one because I would already be so close to the camera. But here is a plant that you see has 2 baby leaves and 1 big leaf attached to it. So, where's my scissors? Okay. What you want to do is cut off this big leaf. So what that's going to do is that will encourage the growth of this 2 leaves only, spreading it out more. And that's what you really want to do on almost every single plant. If you don't want to do this, you don't really have to. But if you want to encourage growth, you could do that. You see how it's only just 2 plants there? That's because it'll only have the energy to do 2 plants. So you would get 2 giant plants that would then grow into something like this. Then you could keep doing it and keep doing it. So, yeah. Do that. Okay, this is what you do when you see flowers and why you should prune the flowers. So, if you look down into your flower stalk here, this is a flower stalk, and it will most likely get rid of the flavor of your basil. So if you look down here, you can see these 2 basil leaves starting to grow. So what you want to do is cut above that. It might seem bad, but it's for the best to keep the flavor and that just fell, and keep the flavor and health for it. So if you look in here, you can see that there's 2 little basil leaves happening at the edges here that will soon grow. But if you keep seeing flowers form here after you just cut it again all the way down to the very, very beginning where it started. So that's why you should always prune the flowers. Okay, another thing to keep in mind is always watch out for pests. Pests are very tricky creatures to spot. They could be caterpillars, which are just completely green and you can't even see a single thing of them. But make sure when you come outside to check on your plants, make sure to check on your basil plant, especially every single day. And basil usually can get eaten by caterpillars a lot, and I would know why caterpillars eat them because basil is just so good. So I already looked on my basil plant and there was nothing on it right now. But there is some plants that are getting eaten a little bit. But you should always watch out for caterpillars, pests, anything that could eat your basil plants, because if a caterpillar gets a hold of your basil leaf or a basil plant, it could eat the entire thing and you wouldn't even know because they could eat it in like 10 minutes. So yeah, that is why you should always look at your basil plant, really examine your basil plant and try to care for it before caterpillars can get to it and different kind of stuff. There is a bug on it that I've never seen before and I'm kind of scared. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Okay. That thing looked like a horse. I don't know what that was, but I think I should start studying insects, because if I'm growing plants and I see a bug on it, I'm probably not going to think anything of it, and I'm probably going to ask my dad what it is because he knows everything. But I think I should start going to the library and getting books about animals, or not animals, pests that eat plants or bugs that eat plants. Any one of those, and just different kind of bugs. My sister has a lot of bug books, so I could probably borrow one of those and see what bugs eat plants, or see if I can identify a bug, like just by looking at it I can be like, oh, that's that bug that I read in a book. So yeah, and same with y'all. I think you should, if you don't know much about bugs, learning about bugs is a really good source for studying plants, because if you don't know what this bug is, like a bug could put a disease, it could be a bug that has a disease and it could put it in the plant, or I don't know if that's how it works, or it could be a bug that can like really, really kill your plant and you wouldn't even know because you never really listened to, you never read a book, or you've never known anything about bugs. So yeah, that's how you can deal with pests, or how you can identify them. And let's get on to diseases, how to identify and see diseases. Okay, I actually need to hurry up with this video because my phone is about to die. So this thing right here, this might be a disease or it might not. This could be a sunburn, a nutrient deficiency, or an actual disease, which it probably is a disease. So if you see a plant with too much of that, or just a lot more than usual, you should probably cut that off. But this, on the other hand, just could be a sunburn probably, or something from a slug. I'm not sure what that really is, and don't really know. But if you see something like this little one here that has too much of that brown stuff, it could either be a disease or not. But if you always want to make sure, so make sure you just cut it off to make sure it's not a disease or anything, or it would not spread across your entire plant. Basil is more on one of the easier sides to grow, like it's on the more easy side of growing plants. Basil is one of my favorites, and it's a great indoor plant. If you watch these videos and you have like an apartment or a hotel, or just don't have the space, for gardening, basil is one of the is a perfect plant for that. You know, for a small space, like it's a perfect windowsill plant. Obviously, it probably won't grow as big like this because this is in a big bulky pot. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully y'all got inspired to grow. My dog is about to come over here. Hopefully you got inspired to grow basil, and hopefully you. What do you want? Hopefully you grow basil, because basil is a perfect plant to grow, and hopefully you have or hopefully you got happy watching this. Hopefully I didn't take too much time out of your life, or you're disappointed in my videos. My entire channel is just to make people happy, and just to give people entertainment if they don't know what to do. So I think it's time for you to start going outside now, and I'm pretty sure you've already been on this app for long enough. And go start a garden, continue starting a garden, help your garden, and if your garden's starting to die, figure out what's wrong with it. There's a lot of time to do a lot of stuff, and hopefully you enjoyed this, and leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.